T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Own it, own it, own it, Kong. I own it. It did.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Y'all, happy Friday. Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad. Welcome to WWT Live, the Friday edition. And I am not alone because I'm already on vacation, y'all. So Mr. Professor is in the building. What's good? How are you doing?
Thank you for not kicking me out of your establishment after Wednesday. I appreciate it. Everything still works. So I'm here.
I know.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Like Wednesday happened, and then the chat was going on. The Women's Wrestling Talk chat was going on. I was like, "What's going on?" I still need to watch it, but apparently, I'll check it out.
I guess that's why I'm still safe. You haven't.
Yeah, we're still here. YouTube hasn't banned us. We good. WWE's still returning my emails. Well, actually, I don't know. I send them an email. We'll see if they respond. So we don't know.
There we go.
Mr. Cedric. The afro looks nicely coiffed today, like even in all the things.
Fro Fridays are going to be a thing. You know, that's the best I can give today.
Look, I respect it. I found my pick. And I tried picking out my fro, and it was lopsided. It was all things, and I was like, "Yeah, we're not doing this. We're just gonna do a nice little ponytail, just poof at the top all the day, like this." So much respect to you, because that, my friend, is a lot of work. So
it is. It's God, tired of the hair. Honestly,
that part. And he got the arm today. Booty, what's going on?
How you doing? Hey, I'm good. I just been celebrating the Denver Nuggets Western Conference Championships all week long. Yes, indeed. Aside from that, the usual, living life, working.
I mean, can you say that while you live in LA, though?
Yes, and I'll say it to everybody's face. Wow. Everybody's face, like, hey, we doing it. How many championships they got already? Please. Okay, that's what I look at it. It's like, wait, this is our first time in the West, like in the finals, period. So it's just like the teams that already have so many championships under their belt. I'm like, don't be selfish. You can share.
This is what you should tell them.
We can win.
I'll see you later. Congratulations.
That's what you should say to them when everybody, pulls up. Just saying. What up, Stephanie in the chat? All right, let's get to this first story.
Up rope.
What do we got?
Well, I guess I'll start off, and we'll start with someone who is, I guess, considered to be part of the alumni in WWE. It's Alicia Fox, who I think many thought her career would be over when she was released from WWE, but she says, not so. She was recently interviewed by Muscle Man Malcolm, who's a fun follow, by the way, on Instagram. And apparently he had an interview with her, and in the interview, she said that no, she's not done. Instead, she plans on hitting up Booker T and potentially training again with Booker T at Reality of Wrestling. And then she says she'll go and knock on Trinity's house and then on Sasha's house, which I think will be very, very interesting. So, yeah, I'm intrigued to see what she will do. Now, she's been a free agent technically since 2006. She hadn't competed, of course, full time since 2019. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what in the world will happen with Alicia Fox, but she says she's not done.
Well, I don't know. It felt like she wasn't about that life. I don't like.
Yeah, I didn't see her as an indie darling or someone who'd be traveling to the other spaces, but my only thought there is, everybody wants to end things on their own terms. And if she didn't get to end on her own terms, there are enough WWE alumnus floating around in other places right now where she could potentially dance again. And if she's really feeling it, she could really revitalize her career with all of the great new talent that's out there.
Right. Yeah, I'm really interested. Like, I kind of really interested. I probably have to check that interview because I'm interested to see if she even talks about it, what that timeline is like, because there was you would see her in like blips, like not even like how R-Truth would come, he'd have a whole thing and then leave. So like I'd be really interested to hear what that was like, meaning like, was she pitching stories, was she getting frustrated, or was she just like what that whole arc of it was. And then I know she was dealing with I think I don't want to misspeak, but I know she was dealing with some stuff personally, so that would be interesting too. Also saying it's interesting story for Alicia Fox. I didn't know she had been basically waiting her contract. Oh, is that what it is? Waiting for her contract to expire since 2018. Most of us thought she was still doing stuff with WWE.
That's interesting.
But then if you wait out your contract, then can't you still try to like do stuff? I don't understand. Like,
yeah, I mean, there are people waiting out their contract who are also getting involved. I don't know if she just had no interest, if she felt like her body couldn't hold up. Like, it's a lot. And I think we also, unless you are with any sport, unless you are consistently active, taking a decade off and then trying to jump back in isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world, no matter how great you are. So I would be interesting, especially now, because this era of women's wrestling is far more physical. It's far more active than the Divas era of wrestling, which was an era where she was able to thrive. So I'm intrigued to see how she would fit into this particular space if she's up for it.
Yeah. Bosa saying Alicia had 17-year run with WWE. That is very rare. Now that she's free, it'll be interesting to see where Victoria Crawford turns up. And then Stephanie saying Alicia Victoria deserves another run because I feel she didn't get enough credit for how good she was during the Diva era. Agreed.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Anything, Booney?
I'm just excited for Alicia Fox, period, because I'm definitely a fan. Like I said, I got back into wrestling by watching Total Divas with my wife, and so just seeing the behind the scenes with her career, I like what she's about as a person, and just in ring she's fun. I like what she does, and excited to see her. I miss some Alicia Fox. I especially liked when she had that whole captain gimmick and she went crazy with it. It's just that was pretty much the last run before she stepped out, and that was cool. So I'd be interested to see what she would come back with, because I think she's still got a lot left in her, to give.
Yeah, it's crazy because if you're waiting out the contract, I'm assuming that you're still going to get paid, right? And if they're not using her, then why why wait out the contract? Like, is it to be like petty on WWE's part? Like, I'd be interested, like, as far as the business dynamics of it, because if you're not going to use her and you already know that, you're not going to re-sign her, then why still pay a check for that whole time?
And I also wonder which side was the holdup? Because if you wait out your contract, then you don't have a non-compete when it's done. So you can show up anywhere. If you break your contract, you're going to have to deal with that non-compete. So I don't know, again, if she had plans to go anywhere or not. She certainly has nothing in the way of that right now since the contract's up. So I don't know. It's interesting.
It is. There's so many things that I've just even learned recently that is just kind of like we have to really appreciate these wrestlers because they're putting a lot on the line for our entertainment. Like there's a lot of stuff that you just assume like, oh, that makes sense because that's what normal people do. Yeah, they're taking huge risks by like wrestling week in and week out for our entertainment. And then if you get hurt, man, that's a whole situation. But hopefully we'll see Alicia like in Impact or AEW or New Japan Pro. I mean, I definitely want to see what that looks like. What do we got next?
Let's see. We got Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is reportedly WWE's long-term direction. So while many people thought that was not the right booking decision, Wrestling Observer newsletter has indicated that Reigns versus Rhodes is the long-term direction for the Ultimate Destination match. So the report suggests that next bout could take place at WrestleMania 40. So that's what it's looking like.
Not surprised at all. I think I told y'all this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, all right. I mean,
the question is, how do you do it? How do you keep us engaged until WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia? Because at this point, and I think we got some other Cody Rhodes stuff to hit where we're going to be talking about this angle that he's in right now and what it means, because I'm starting to see a lot of callbacks happen in WWE as of late. But am I interested in seeing him finish the story a year from now? Not really. Not really. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not really. I'd rather see whatever shakes out with the bloodline as far as like Solo or Jay really turning on their family. So they have a lot of decisions to make. But this being earmarked as a long-term direction just like echoes a lot of people's thoughts already.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I don't know. I just feel like for a long term, I think the rivalry between those two, I'm not as engaged in it especially to go for another year. So it's more like, okay, how are they gonna pull this off? How are they? And I don't know what they got to do, but it's to me, and I don't know if that would be able to work either, but it seems like if they're trying to do a long running thing against Cody and Roman, seems like Cody needs a faction himself of some sort instead of just, I don't know.
I mean, I have said over and over again, this is a drinking game. I am for factions. Factions make sense.
Yep.
Even on a personal level.
Me too.
I'm connected with my family, and I have this one cousin. Everybody has that one cousin who they go off, but they go off for their family. They do stuff that's not necessarily above board, but it's good to have that cousin. And it's through some personal stuff, like my family has really rallied together, and it's like I feel like I have a faction. You know what I'm saying? And that feeling, like it's like none other. You're not by yourself. So I agree. Like definitely, it Cody now has a faction, and now it's building into next year. Then I would be into that. But
and if Cody's faction is nice and multicultural, and it has a good natural vibe, like good chemistry, you know what I'm saying? Then I think Cody
about to be a part of LWO?
Huh? What's that? I don't know.
Technically, he fits the.
That is true.
That's true. He qualifies.
I mean, but yeah, I'm the same way about factions too. It's just like it's way more exciting It's just, you know, there's every once in a while there's those talents that really shouldn't be in a faction that just they like a Stone Cold. It's like, no, that's just, you know, but a lot of others, like they get their footing from being in a faction. It's like The Rock being in the Nation. That's what set it off for The Rock. You know what I'm saying? And plenty others. And then of course Triple H and everybody else coming from the D-Generation X. And so, you know, I think it could really set something up that could be interesting. It's just it would have to be the right kind of team and chemistry rather than it being forced and we can tell like y'all just try to, you know,
you guys are not really about each other.
And that's hard to do too. It's hard to like build a faction that really has that natural chemistry and that has something that like has people interested, you know, wanting to see every week. So
yeah. Bosa with the facts said WrestleMania 40 would put Roman up there almost at the same 1400-day mark as Hogan. Plus, it would make 4 straight manias that Roman has defended the Universal Championship.
Yeah, you know, in terms of this long-term storytelling, I'm all the way for it. I think people forget that we actually waited an entire year and knew we were waiting an entire year. They told us we were waiting an entire year for Cena versus Rock. And this was a decade ago. And we knew Rock wasn't showing up every week. And somehow we were good with just the random tweaks that they would have and the occasional occurrences that would happen. I think we got to, like anything else, give this a chance to cook. And I think there are enough there are enough things to keep them apart to where when they come together, it's something that makes sense. I mean, the talk of a faction is cool. I think what's even cooler is watching how the faction could form. I mean, think about this. For the most part, Cody has gone solo doing everything. And you could make the argument a lot of that could have been, here's this guy that comes red hot off of this AEW run and this company he created. He's not endeared himself to anybody in WWE. So how interesting would it be to watch some organic friendships actually form with Cody that could lead, and watching that process would be interesting. I think what's going to be even more interesting about this is who we have at the helm. Having Triple H at the helm, he will dig into these stories and will give us a space to be able to walk this out long term so that by the time we get to 40, this could be crazy. Now, obviously, there's a lot that could happen between now and then. Injuries, who gets super hot. Like, again, if they were planning out WrestleMania 39 back at the end of 38, there's a whole lot they would never have put in there. They didn't see that the bloodline would be this hot. They never imagined main eventing with a tag team title match, and they never put Sami Zayn in there. They would have never imagined Kevin Owens main eventing 2 consecutive WrestleManias, right? So there's a lot that happens between now and then. I don't want people to get overly upset and get their blood pressure too high about the idea of this, because it's an idea. Who knows what will happen? And we probably wouldn't be living out this idea if Cody hadn't gotten injured last year. Right. So there's that too.
Yeah.
And
what are some things that can possibly derail the direction?
Well, that's why I was like piggybacking off of that. You have to remember that WWE don't care about our feelings. The whole time they're pushing like Roman Reigns when we weren't feeling him for years. So now
because they saw this,
right? So now that we're feeling him, and now if we're saying, "Oh well, we don't want another year to," they don't care.
They just care about our money because they know we're going to keep. We're gonna complain and show up.
Right, you're still gonna buy the shirts, like you know, you know where Roman is concerned, and I don't know. I would love, like, maybe when Roman's retired, like to get the backstory of the backstory, like who made this decision. Like Roman is the guy, and come hell or high water, whether you like him or not, we're gonna stay the course, because sometimes they don't stay the course. We've seen it plenty of times. So I want to hear that backstory, like who made that decision.
I agree. I was actually thinking about that earlier. Like, I feel like, in the future, maybe like, 10 years, 5, 10 years down the line, when they're doing new documentaries and all that stuff based off this stuff, I think we're going to see more about how this all was developed and have even more of a newfound respect for what Roman Reigns was doing that people might have not understood right now, because Roman is very good about just like keeping, the
He don't say
details of
much.
that separate. It's like nobody had any idea that he had cancer until he announced it. It's like, so, it's clear that Roman knows how to keep secrets, and keep things out of the, whatever. So there could be elements to this that none of us really understand until we find out later, like, oh, that makes so much sense, but who knows? Who knows?
I feel like Cedric is it.
Yeah, he's in and out, I think, but he keeps a consistent look, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, he's got the consistent.
See, and he's smiling now. This is great.
Both are saying and prove how much they love Roman Reigns backstage. There are reports online that tomorrow the main event could be for the tag team titles. We would allegedly start with the World Heavyweight Championship.
Well, let's be fair to Bose's comment, because it wouldn't be a show if Bose and I didn't disagree at some point. They've actually announced that it's 3 main events, so I think that's put them in a very safe space where we won't necessarily be able to just say whoever the closer is the main event. So there's going to be 3 of them. I do think it's interesting that there are 3 main events. One would have thought walking in that the crowning of the new world champion would have been the main event. But when you add Roman Reigns, you can't have Roman Reigns on a show and not be a main event.
Right.
But for me, the bigger statement is you've added Cody and Brock as a 3rd main event. Now that's the real question and the real issue to me, because I'm like,
really the main event though, because
that's the thing. I didn't think it should have made it. I didn't think it was a main event at Backlash, and it became a main event. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to me, the bigger issue is why is Cody and Brock amongst these 3 main? Because if you have 3 main events, do you really have a main event?
Exactly. Or the main event is really the last event that closes out the show.
That's the question.
Like,
it like
that basically makes the main event like selective. Like it's a way like it's selective depending on the preference of the person. Like, I'm not interested in that much. Let me go ahead and get a hot dog real quick. And then it was that you're staying for, like, oh yeah, I gotta see this one. So it becomes selective main events.
All right. He has put his kids aside for a little bit to join us. Blue is in the building.
Oh, snap.
What it do? Oh, does he have internet issues too? I could hear you, but you're not moving.
I'm not.
Oh, there we go.
What's happening? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been acting kind of slow on my end. I don't know what's happening.
I think it's everywhere. They about to hike up the rates for internet.
Isn't it still Mercury retrograde? Or if you know about that, that's what they always talk about here in LA. Is
that's an LA thing. That is an LA thing.
But it's real. It's for real. Anytime that it's like the computers, all that stuff, technology, communication be acting like batshit crazy.
I guess.
I see what's in. Give me 1 second.
All I know is when the pandemic happened, all of a sudden my internet bill jumped like almost $100 just to be able to stream.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So, and then when the pandemic slowed down, like T-Mobile's giving internet for $50 a month. I was like, so are we not using all the same towers? But
are we good now? Am I moving a bit more smoother?
We're seeing like there we go. There we go.
I'm good now.
We've seen some things. We've seen some things happen. What do we got next?
Frames.
So it's being. Am I visible? Am I moving or am I frozen?
You're moving.
We got you now.
You got me? Okay.
That's everybody. You're right. Okay.
It's being reported for Night of Champions at the press conference that Cody has a broken arm. Now, we talked about this at length, what Cody's possibly going through with a lot of callbacks, things like that, and now a It sounded like a 3-time main event. So could this close the show? I don't think so. But Cody is in his hard times era. This is kind of a callback to the dusty days of him overcoming some of those things. But I swear to God, Cody's going to go in this match, and if Brock don't send that man to the upper room, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yes.
We can't go another Cody gets one over on Brock. So Brock tomorrow has to tie the series. That's the only way this makes sense.
Yeah.
10 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
Dylan saying Cody's winning. JD saying I agree Brock needs to go over.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Seth on this. I really feel like, first of all, I don't remember the last time that Brock Lesnar lost 2 in a row. I don't, let alone to the same person.
Exactly.
Right. So Brock has to win this. If Brock loses, it's only by disqualification because he can't be controlled. But Brock has got to destroy. That's really the only way here for this to be, because if Cody comes in, and no knock to Cody. Cody's great.
Yeah.
But Cody, for Cody to come in and beat Seth 3 times in a row, and then turn around with one arm and beat Brock. This is like one hand tied behind my back, and I'm gonna beat the guy who ended the Undertaker streak.
I've been saying
what are we really saying there?
I've been saying this since the Royal Rumble return. They have to be very cautious with the predictability of Cody Rhodes, and they have not been. It's been like, y'all just giving the straight expectation of everything. It's like, dang, bring him in at 30, win, bring him in. It's been like, I'm rooting for Cody because Cody is proving he's dope. He is proving that he deserves to be top. But the storytelling right now is just, it's all like, it's just being so predictable right now. And when we're talking, like a second match against Brock Lesnar, and if that's where it's going to get to a point that you risk the fans turning on Cody the same way they turned on Roman, because you're forcing it down the throats, and just like, and it's not predictable. I'm sorry. It's not, no surprise to it. It's all predictable. We already know it a month ahead. Like, oh, we already know what this is going to do. And the moment you get into that territory, it's danger. So they really need to tread lightly with this.
I'd like to point out one very interesting fact. Cody Rhodes, since he's been back in WWE, has only lost 1 match. And that was the match that people didn't think he was going to lose. That would be against Roman Reigns. He's beaten everybody else. And so I think a loss for Cody is necessary. It's necessary. I can't build you as the underdog if you're winning all the time. Yeah. So it's interesting. Now, here's the other side of it. The backlash, pun intended, that WWE got with Cody losing at WrestleMania was otherworldly. I never thought that people would lose their mind the way that they did with Cody. And there are people who are still bitter about Cody having lost. With that said, he has to lose tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's also the only person to beat Solo so far.
Correct.
On Maine, which is a huge accolade with the way they're building Solo.
Huge. So
I definitely agree with both of you guys. Like, they have to be careful with Cody right now. As everybody, most people that I follow WWE from afar, I jump in and out. But just from what I'm seeing, it's just been like, now he's about to fight with one arm after he fought with the bruised pec. It's like the comeback story all over again. And you can't keep going to the well. You know what I mean? Like, you have to build some kind of depth around the storyline when it comes to when you building up a superstar and Cody's caliber. He doesn't need constantly to be put as the underdog. You know what I mean? He did that through the indies, and then he showed that he could do. And he came to your company because he proven what he can do. So when you keep running that same play, like Booney mentioned, it gets tiring, and then you're gonna get the fans. It's gonna happen like it happened to Roman. You know, every time I see Roman, I can't help. It's like a seed that CM Punk put in my head was with the whole make him look strong type conversation. It's just like you don't want that attached to Cody. Like you don't want that. Oh, he's always overcoming something, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, you gotta be careful with that.
It's like I appreciate all that humility and everything. It's like great to get that inspirational speech and everything, but it's like after the inspirational speech, now I just want you to talk your shit. Cause you dope, and you don't have to keep pandering to, get us to believe it. We believe in you. You know what
That
I'm
happened
saying?
to AEW too. That happened to AEW too. He kept doing that, and after a while, everybody's like, "All right, bro, we understand you." What is that character from the Hulu show? Like you, Homelander. You're Homelander. We get it. Like, come on.
But that's why I'm just not much of a baby face guy. I'm just not much of a face guy because there's not much you could go outside of that. Sometimes it seems like.
I will say, just based on this conversation, I think that perhaps Cody is in a very challenging space. And here's what I mean by that. On one hand, you have people saying we don't want him painted as an underdog. But let's be clear. When Cody comes out and he says, I've beaten this one, I've beaten that one, I've done this, I've done that, and now you're talking too confident, people don't like that either.
That's
so
true.
There's a weird line that you're going to have him walk if you're going to have people stay with someone who is so dominant. He might need to have some degree of an edge to him to be able to keep people with him, because again, if there's a group of people that won't like him because he's an underdog, and then there's another group of people that won't like him because he talks too confidently, what do you do?
Right.
Yeah.
Dylan asking,
and like you said, that edge, but like you say, it's that edge, and I feel like they're totally different, but like I felt like Stone Cold was able to be that baby face and add that edge to it, and I feel like Cody is. I love the inspirational aspect of it. I don't think he needs to be cocky to talk his shit, like like I'm. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm beating this person, but just in a sense, talking his shit against the person he's going against. You know what I'm saying? Not like, yo, I'm the man. I'm beating everybody. I don't mean it like that. It's just like talk your shit to that person. You know what I'm saying? It's like we believe in you. Now tell that I'm about to go tell that dude what he needs to, let him know, and then go over there and punch him in the face. That's what I want to see.
With two arms, not just one.
All right. Well then, with that being said, I mean,
that's the hip hop in me.
This is going to be another, because it's going to be a year. So we'll put this in the box for today. Because I'm sure, just like how we were talking about Roman and The Rock, this discussion will come up plenty of more times up until WrestleMania. So what do we got next?
Oh boy. Well, one of the big stories that happened, of course, last weekend was the crowning of the new New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Many thought it would be Mercedes Moné. It turned out to be Willow Nightingale. Part of that was involving an ankle injury that happened to Mercedes during her match with Willow Nightingale. So now the talk is what would have happened potentially if Mercedes had won the championship, and would there have possibly been an opportunity for her to be a part of the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, which is the next AEW pay-per-view coming after this weekend's Double or Nothing. So Tony Khan, the other TK, was on a recent call about Double or Nothing, And he says pretty much it's interesting because, in his words, nobody really knows besides Mercedes and myself what was going to actually happen at Forbidden Door, whether there was competing exclusively for New Japan or whether she'd be at Forbidden Door. Now nobody really knows what'll happen, but I don't know if the other TK is actually trolling us in this moment. I don't know if there really were plans, though part of me, the way that statement feels, it kind of feels like there weren't plans, but I'm going to make you feel like there were plans to make you feel like something was on the horizon, though I'm not really sure there really was anything on the horizon.
Look, we need to call Tony Khan because I am tired of seeing TK splash all over Twitter making the other TKs look bad, because like we do this all the time. And this is why, like, you know, no shade, Tony, you got way more money than me and all the things, but I don't listen to you no more. It's like the kid who cries wolf. Like, you always saying these things, and I get it. You know, some fans are gonna buy into it and they're gonna want to talk about it and all the things. But now I just I need to see, like, whatever you say on Busted Open and everywhere else. All right, is what I'm gonna see on television. That, okay, well, that this has come to fruition. Like, I can't take your word for anything anymore. So, and then also on the flip side, being in the entertainment industry and putting yourself forward like that, you know, kudos to you for knowing that people are gonna, not everybody, this TK is not, but people are gonna jump out the bit on like stuff that you're gonna say, a la an article talking about something that may or may not have happened. Like, who does that? Like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, as a promoter, that's what you kind of do, right? You feed into the media and feed into the people to kind of get everybody talking, even if there isn't anything. That's just the promoter, and like, you just have to do it. It's one of the things you don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just flat out say, nah, I wasn't talking to Mercedes. There was no plans for that. If there's a chance, I'm a yeah, you know, maybe me and her know what's gonna happen, you know, because it pays into it. And honestly, we don't know if they were having a conversation or not. When I first heard it, I felt it was kind of weird, only because it was like, if it was for Forbidden Door, why was it a conversation between you and Mercedes and not you and New Japan Pro Wrestling if they're handling her contracts? So it kind of felt like, all right, was there something she was supposed to do before that? Is she coming later on? Is there any conversation at all? Like, are you just, you know, like you said, feeding into the media? So I mean, he's a promoter. He's gonna do it. You can't trust promoters.
Well,
How
let me
convenient. How convenient that you say this after she's hurt.
Right.
Tony capping, man. I don't believe for 1 second that there's been any type of conversation about Mercedes being a part of Forbidden Door, being a part of AEW. She's been very vocal about loving her time in New Japan and even moving over there. And I don't think we'll get so far along to where the fact that she completely, for lack of better words, burns that bridge with WWE. That's what I'm thinking. But like, having a play on words, being promoted away with words, cool. But like, she's hurt, and her main focus right now is getting healthy. And you're trying to use her name for clickbait and to sell tickets. To me, that just shows me that AEW is hurting for some of these upcoming events.
I don't think we should put it on him that much, because at the end of the day, he was asked a question and he's responding to it. It's not like he came out of his face like, "Oh yeah, you should have held off."
But you got to have the integrity to give a responsible answer, which he did not do.
He's promoting. It's gonna happen. It's gonna.
It's not. It's pro wrestling. It's scripted. It's not boxing. Somebody's legitimately hurt. But you're trying to use her name to elevate yourself and your brand. Like,
but you treat it as a real sport. Like, you're gonna say. There's been times people ask WWE, "Did you speak to this person?" That person would be like, well, you know, we'll come back around to it," or, you know, we don't discuss certain things. If it was like you beat around the bush, you never straight out say, "No, we didn't have a conversation with this person." They do it in the NBA all the time. Like, how many times we heard the New York Knicks spoke to Kevin Durant or LeBron James? Like, all sports does it. So we can't, like, fault a person for using a name to elevate their brand.
It's just insinuating on the level of conversation that bothers me. It could have just been like, hello, I said hello via text. So I told you Merry Christmas, you know, something like that. But this is like going deeper into the fact that she was possibly booked for Forbidden Door, which, like, that's not the case.
That happens in all sports. They said LeBron could have possibly came here. Kevin Durant could have possibly come here. It just happens. It happens in WWE. Like, oh, we've had this conversation, or we may have had this conversation. It just happens. They're promoters. They're supposed to put their brand over. They can't just say flat out no. Then people show like, oh, they was even interested in your brand. That doesn't make no sense.
But they're also taking advantage of the fact that, you know, and, you know, we'll pull this out of the box just for a moment, that both Trinity and Mercedes haven't talked about anything that's happened. So,
No, they definitely
you know, he's playing into the fact that if you haven't talked about that, the likelihood of you coming out on top of being injured for you to like, you know, dispel whatever the conversation, that's not their play. So, you know, and he's banking on that. So
that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Let's play devil's advocate. What if Mercedes came out and said, like, just like an NBA player, an NFL player, like, no, I haven't had any discussions with Tony Khan.
But I feel like last time he did it when they spoke about it, when she's supposed to be replacing, when to be tag teaming with Paige, they had a chance to debunk it then. She wasn't hurting anything. It's just something that they keep doing. I agree. If you don't like, I don't fault anybody for not liking it, but at the same time, they're promoters. They're gonna do what they're gonna do to try to get eyes on their brand.
Well, let's redefine the word promoter, because I wouldn't exactly call Tony Khan a promoter. Tony Khan happens to be in charge of a wrestling organization, and he's a massive fan with a ton of money who can make a lot of decisions. I'm going to tell you how I know he didn't talk to Mercedes, because Tony Khan does not keep secrets very well. He doesn't keep secrets very well. Okay. I mean, so allegedly. Okay. Well, we'll say allegedly. Okay. Let me give you an example. Collision. Everybody knew Collision was happening before an announcement was made. Everybody. So then he goes on and he says, we've got this massive announcement that's coming next week. And then he couldn't even wait. If you tell the world a week before you have a massive announcement for us to tune in, then you turn around and you release it earlier that day at the upfronts, and everybody's talking about it. This is no longer an announcement for us to tune in on. Then you want to take us down the road of, well, you're going to tell us where all the next 5 or 6 episodes of Collision will be filmed, but you don't tell us where the first one is. So you're going to try to create anticipation for something that, again, people have already talked about, the first episode of Collision happening in Chicago. So then we wait for this week for you to say, and the first episode of Collision, pregnant pause, will be held, even more pregnant pause, in a city, pregnant pause, of Chicago. No kidding. Next, he's going to tell us, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about one of the next great holidays coming our way. I know you've never heard about it, but on this special date, this country will be celebrating its anniversary and its birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the 4th of July. I want to introduce you to the 4th of July. I know you never knew it was America's holiday, but it is America's birthday. I'm so glad you gave me the opportunity to tell you. Thank you so much. Tony, back to you.
Well, I mean, in that, you want to introduce the holiday we're coming up with, Ella, Tony Khan?
What's that? Say that.
You want to introduce the holiday that's supposed to be coming up, the next holiday that's supposed to be coming up?
Oh, well, the next holiday that's coming up would be this Monday, wouldn't it? I think it'd be this Monday. And I know you guys, sometimes people don't understand that the military does some great things. And I know our U.S. military, we always love them. We support them. We appreciate them. But this Monday, for the first time ever, we're going to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice. We're going to remember all that they have done for our freedom to be able to even have this wrestling broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this Monday, immediately following Double or Nothing, I present to you Memorial Day. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Excalibur, Kaz, Tony, take it away. Take it away. Nobody else could have announced it.
It's spot on.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get the blinking eyes The eyes. I didn't get the eyes correctly. I'm sorry. I didn't have the right attire either. But yeah.
White shirt, black tie.
Yes. Yes. It's special. I'm telling you. You've never seen a day like, as a matter of fact, the day would have been bigger if others hadn't tried to take away from our double or nothing. But because they try to take away from our double or nothing, we're going to add a second day to it. It's a day for you to remember. It's Memorial Day, folks. Yes, indeed.
It's Memorial Day.
Dylan saying Tony Khan made Jesus rise on Easter.
Oh God! Now here we go.
JD saying don't know what it is, but I know I gotta get me some of this new Memorial Day. Oh my God, y'all make me. This is like
I'm just saying.
Must have Mr. Professor announce my new signees.
That's what you should do. Here's what we'll do. This is the back end, but we're making it privy. You tell Mr. Professor who's the new signee. He will do it on presented by Women's Wrestling Talk.
There it is.
And the graphics there it is. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Oh yes.
That's funny.
Yes.
All right. Well, we have time for one more story. What y'all want to talk about?
Well, I mean, some good news for the day. Bret Hart received a star on Canada's Walk of Fame in downtown Toronto.
Just now?
Yeah, the Walk of Fame was established in 1998, and it honors like various celebrities, athletes, public figures. But Bret Hart became the first wrestler to be honored with a star, so that's really dope.
That's cool. He should have been had it though. When you hear Canada, that's like the first 5 person that you mentioned, in my opinion. I don't know because I'm a wrestling fan, but yeah,
it's crazy because I
never been there, TK.
I don't even know where this is.
Wow.
She's a legit shocked though.
I'm literally like looking online to see where this Walk of Fame is. It's somewhere downtown, but it's not. Oh, okay. This is like
so you've never been to it.
No. Yeah. Well, so on top of not liking to, stay at places for very long and not liking traffic, that's the reason why I haven't been, because it's downtown Toronto and nobody's trying to park to.
Ain't anybody going down.
Wait, don't you look like you in LA? The center of all traffics.
Yeah, this is why I work from home.
Okay, you're right.
Ask Cedric. Cedric, how long was I was at New Japan Pro for I spent maybe 20 minutes in line waiting for popcorn because I was starving. Wow. And I drove through traffic and I probably sat down 30 minutes and I'm like, all right, you got it. I'll see you later. Like,
wow.
I think you got through 3 matches?
Yeah.
3?
Yeah. And then you said there's 4 more. I'm like, oh yeah, we ain't doing this. We're not doing this. And I walked out. There was no traffic. There's no cars. I didn't have to wait to try to get out. I pulled out. She's
bragging about it.
I was good. I was home to watch Mercedes on TV, and
that's hilarious. That is hilarious.
Yeah. So
that is hilarious.
You guys did the. I know. Listen, it's been a day. You guys did the Alicia Fox story already.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay. She's had something pretty cool coming up.
Dylan said, "I got a question. Why wasn't Tony Khan in Canada?"
Because he was in Vegas doing the media call.
Right.
But I guarantee you, if he had announced it, TK would know where it is.
Kind of disappointed there's no Goldberg slander in Bret Hart's speech there.
They probably don't even know who Goldberg is in Canada.
I mean, there's a huge wrestling contingent, but I think the wrestling contingent's more in the Midwest of Canada because hockey is huge. Hockey is obviously big. But yeah, wrestling when I was growing up, I couldn't even tell you where to watch. We watched it on TV, but going to actually watch it was not a thing. But of course, my folks are from the island, so
okay,
soccer and
yeah,
none of this indoor. So congratulations to Bret Hart. But with
Yes.
that being said, Blue, do you have any announcements that you might want Mr. Professor to, announce for you, or do you want to announce? I see you do your company's popping, so.
Oh no, not currently. You made all the announcements so far, but we're working on some more, people. I've been putting my campaign on Twitter to get Mercedes and Trinity next. So if you see the tweet, retweet it, and all that good stuff. So let's see if we can make that happen next. I do know that on a personal note, Victoria, aka Alicia Fox, she has something coming up as well that she's gonna be announcing, and we're gonna be probably getting involved with her as well as in a digital space. So look out for that in the next week or so. We'll probably say something. So we're working on that. So yeah, maybe that one you can announce. We can make it that work. But it's gonna be like I think it's a 3-parter that we're doing. Yeah. So that's gonna be very special.
Dope.
We see you.
Yeah, trying.
So where can people find your stuff?
Oh, we don't know ending. Oh, we're done now. Dang,
she said it was the last story.
My bad. I'm late. All right, so you guys can follow me at Blue Magic Grind, spell how it sound, or at For Your Wear, FORURWAR. Visit the website foryourwear.com. You can find Women's Wrestling Talk merch on there. You can find this week we announced Ace Austin on part of For Your Wear. We have some more people coming in. We have a lot of podcasts and wrestlers. We have Jazz. We have Big Swole. We have a lot of wrestlers and podcasters on there right now. So go out there and check out some of the merch and see what you could like. You probably cop something. The Wrestling Club. A lot of people. So yeah, we just have a lot of things coming up in the next couple of weeks. Trying to get some more signings. Trying to have a busy summer. Trying to come out with some more merch. So TK, I need some designs from you.
Look, it's on my to-do list. I created a folder with all the shirts because I had shirts scattered all over the place, and we are going to have. I feel like the Salt Shaker should be getting a shirt. The Dynamite Doll should be getting a shirt. So there's things coming along.
Summertime, so I'm trying to do some tank tops now, because I know people like tank tops. Get some tank tops going. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Staying busy.
All right. And Cedric, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at says. That's CEDD_SAYS. On Instagram at said is the answer. Just check my notifications. I just dropped an article just right now on dailyddt.com for Night of Champions. It's a predictions piece. Go let me know if I'm right or wrong. Let's argue. Tweet to me.
All right. Okay. Booney, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube at Booney Mayfield and Instagram as well at Booney Mayfield. Or else you can see me in spirit at the NBA Finals games. Watching the Nuggets win. And that's about it. Yeah, you can find me at those platforms. Thank you.
It's Friday, y'all.
Can I say every time somebody says you can find me?
I like that, man.
Every time somebody says you can find me, I'm thinking about Big Pun song.
Which one?
Somebody to continue it.
Which Big Pun song?
You can find me at the. Dang it! Now it's gonna skip my brain. I'm tired. I got kids.
Oh wow, F the Nuggets. That's pretty strong, harsh.
Wow.
Hey, I'm used to the hate. We're used to all the hate. That's okay.
I feel like that's light, man.
And keep on working and grinding. That's what we do from the Colorado represent. Amen. And that's all I gotta say. High five to Jesus. High five to Jesus.
That's what it is. You can catch me in the Cherry Red 150. Yeah, that one. It's so hard.
Really looked up the
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Hey.
JD, actually, no, I am waiting for this shirt. Where's this shirt? I'm tired. I got kids. Where's that shirt at?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's a dope. Right when he said that was hilarious.
Yeah,
make a t-shirt, bro.
Drop it on Monday.
That's the shirt.
Announced by
get on print.
Professor.
Get on printful.com.
Drop it on Monday.
Yeah, get on printful.com.
Memorial Day. The best Memorial Day gift ever.
I do need one of those Wrestling Club hoodies, by the way, royal blue.
that part.
So
Yeah.
I do want
Yeah.
one of those.
I got
Yeah.
you.
Make sure to go on printful.com and make that shirt, dude. 'cause
No,
that-
no, I have a company that does it.
No. Blue has
This
its
is what
own
For Your Wear
company.
does.
Oh,
Yeah.
you have your own. Oh,
There's a
yeah,
fulfillment. It's a
yeah.
fulfillment.
Okay,
For Your Wear.
I
Yeah.
wasn't introduced yet, so I
Oh
had
yeah,
no
no,
idea.
we'll talk in the chat. Yeah, this
Yeah.
fulfillment.
I'm with it.
Blue's did some big things.
And you don't get cheated for your
Oh, well. All right.
That's how I explained it. Like the reason why I had this conversation again this past week. For people that don't know, For Your Wear happens because one, for the people that wasn't for us of the culture during the Black Lives Matters movement when a lot of things was happening, like I didn't appreciate that, and a lot of people from my culture did. And then two, it's for the artists, it's for the creators, because a lot of times when you sell your T-shirt for $25, you only get $5 back. It's your brand. Why you only getting $5 back out of $25? That never made sense to me. So with this one, I make sure that everybody gets paid like they're supposed to, and you in charge of your own stuff, and it's on the platform that you can be proud of.
Really, I like that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My high salute to that.
I try sometimes.
Yes,
All right, Mr. Professor.
Right. You can find here we go. You can find me at Bonnerfied on all of the platforms. You can check out my commentary work with Southern Honor Wrestling. We just dropped SHW 50 this week on IWTV, so you can check that out. Also, you can check out my commentary work with Battle Slam on Fight TV. And we've got a big Battle Slam event coming up Juneteenth at Centennial Olympic Park in downtown Atlanta. It's going to be crazy. We're headlining the Juneteenth Festival. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And doing work with the Nightmare Factory. So you can check that out on the Nightmare Factory YouTube page. And then, of course, you can check us out right here on WWT Live.
Yeah, he makes me want to go to Atlanta. I haven't been to Atlanta in so long.
I agree.
Yeah, you should.
Last time I went to Atlanta was for AGP, and that was like in 2008, 9.
Oh wow! So did you come down so that you'd be in the Freak Nick documentary?
No, I was in there for around that time. I ain't that old.
Because everybody's trying to clear themselves of.
Yeah, that was before my time. Nope.
Gotcha.
I was not part of that part. Nope.
Fair enough.
Right.
Fair enough.
Nikki with the new profile pic. We do have post shows for all our pay-per-views, so definitely check that out. We also have articles.
Nikki just got her degree too, right?
Yeah, Nikki got her.
Shout out to Nikki.
Congratulations.
Yes. Dylan Sane, the creator of Atlanta.
Listen, it would not be here without it wouldn't be here. I'm telling you. As a matter of fact, Nikki got her degree because Tony Khan showed up at the Tennessee State University and said, listen, a degree is not a degree unless I hand thee the degree. Here you are.
I need this every week now. This is your bit.
Back to you, Excalibur. Yes.
Yo, next episode, you gotta come on with a white shirt and a black tie, like at least once a week.
I think I'm gonna do that
on YouTube. Like you can do it on YouTube, Instagram. I be watching those every day. Like what's the announcement today?
The weekly rundown.
Like, it's about to be Labor Day. Let me see what we got.
I'm gonna remind you for Juneteenth to do a Tony Khan.
Please. Yes.
Wow. And then when
I'm most
AEW
interested in hearing your Halloween.
That's
pretty interesting.
He's gonna have like Gerard on the
Hopefully they're entertained by this, but
get that Dracula cake.
Okay, well, with that being said, you can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. And we have several shows on top of all of our post shows that you can check out as well. So here they go. Till next week. We need to decide if we're doing Monday. Now I realize that's a holiday. So maybe Wednesday. We'll let
Tony
you know.
created the holiday so we could be off.
Till Wednesday, y'all. Happy Memorial Weekend and happy pay-per-view weekend. All the things. And check out these shows. Till next time, guys. Ciao.
Peace.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw Post Show, WoW Post Show, AEW Dynamite Post Show, Women's Wrestling Army Post Show, NXT Post Show, Impact Wrestling Post Show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live Post Show, On the Scroll, ROH Post Show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.